Welcome back to our channel. I'm Dale, and this is going to be a little bit of a different adventure. It's going to cover a time period of about 8 weeks or so. And what it is hopefully me getting fixed and repaired. Some of you may have in any one of the Resort TV 1 live streams that I've been in, every once in a while, I mentioned something about my leg always going numb. And this has been going on for about 10 years, I think. If I would stand too long, my leg would go numb. And I just never really did anything about it. And a year ago, I took had an x-ray done, and I found out I have spondylolisthesis or something like that. Some big, long, fancy word, better just known as spondy. And I will show you my x-ray to show you what it actually is. And it's actually the vertebrae aren't quite aligned. It's not like it's similar to degenerative disc but it's, yeah, I'll show you the x-ray. I'll show you the picture. And and then a year ago I had the x-ray done, and just doing a chiropractor doesn't necessarily do the best to fix it. So I looked into a little bit more, and there was an option to do decompression, decompression of the spine, really pull me apart. Well, a year ago, it just wasn't the right time. And recently, it became the right time. So I am working with Orange Wellness Chiropractor with their decompression table, and it's an amazing table. I actually did my first treatment the other day, and it felt absolutely amazing. Then after each treatment, they do a little bit of a heat laser therapy, to help with the inflammation around it, because your body's not used to getting pulled apart like that, and to reduce the inflammation. So I had that done, but there was a little bit of soreness the next day. It wasn't crazy. I didn't ice it or anything, because they said if you are sore, go ahead and ice it, but I didn't need to. But I did, came home, and yeah, it felt great. And I have to do 3 sessions a week, as long as the schedule allows for that. 3 sessions a week for about 8 weeks, 24 total sessions. So, and I was talking to the doctor at Orange Wellness. They're okay if I document it, but no, I can't discuss any of the pricing because it fluctuates a little bit here and there. So just look it up. I'll drop the link. I'll add the link if you want some more information on that. So here are the x-rays. The one on the left is my x-ray, and the one on the right is how it's supposed to look. So with my x-ray, where the issue is down here. And I'm not a doctor, and I don't know all the names for all the spine. L5, I think it's L5, but don't quote me on that. But right here you can see this section vertebrae is forward and is causing a big gap here, and it's pushing forward from this vertebrae here, or the pelvic bone, whichever this one is. And when this pushes forward, when I stand up, it's much worse. Like this x-ray is while I'm standing up, so it's at its worst. There's a nerve, I believe it's the sciatica nerve, that comes down the back, goes down to your leg. When I stand up, this nerve gets pinched right in here. And if I stand up too long, that's when my leg goes numb. If you take a look at the x-ray on the right, look at this area right here, this vertebrae right here, and look how nicely it's aligned. And then on the left again, how mine is not nicely aligned. Like this right here, this section right here should be all the way back here, lined up right here. So there's my spondy issue, and that's what we're trying to fix. And with the decompression, we're hoping it pulls this section up while simultaneously pulling this section down, increasing the gap between the vertebrae like the rest of mine are nicely lined up. To try to increase that gap, and at the same time then pull this back so it quits pinching the nerve. And yeah, the decompression table that I'm using is the DRX 9000. So if you wanted to look it up, but I will be sure to show you that and show you a little bit of how I get set up into it and what's involved with it. And then we're gonna go the next 8 weeks and find out the results after the 8 weeks. Get the X-ray done again, and hopefully it's taken care of. They've had amazing results with many of the like degenerative disc, collapse of the cartilage, and different things like that they've had, and also with the Spondy, they've had great success with it before. And I didn't want to go the surgery route just because there's too many risks of something not going right, and I know there's both sides of it. So I was like, I'm going to do this route first, do the non-surgical route first, and then hopefully I don't need anything else, and we'll go from there. So follow along for the next 8 weeks. So this is the machine, the DRX 9000, and this is some high-tech stuff. This is what I end up lying on. I'll show the belt. I get attached to a belt, and the rope will be from here to my belt, and it'll stretch me out. And it has all these little fancy buttons and everything else. And they start off with maximum load for 50 pounds. And throughout the 8 weeks, the goal is to get up, I think, to around 90. So this is the apparatus that I'm wearing. This sort of goes up underneath the chest to help pull this part up. And then the bottom piece around the waist, and they go against each other, and that's where the decompression happens, from the top of the machine to the bottom of the machine. And it's comfy. It's super comfortable. So here's the machine right here. Here's the current time that I have left. And actually, it started at like 22 minutes. And here's the amount of force. And right now we're at 55 pounds for today. We upped it 5 pounds. I have this nice little screen here to watch, very calming. And then right there is the attachment, and then it pulls the bottom part of this belt. Got this nice little pillow here. And then behind me, this is attached to this. And that's what pulls us apart. That's what pulls me apart. This sort of holds me there. The top piece actually holds me there, and then the bottom piece is what is pulling and has the load. And you got this nice little triangle pillow under my leg as well that helps with where I need the spine to be pulled apart even more. It feels fantastic. I can lay here for hours. It's quite the machine. And yeah, it just pulls me apart. And I did see I had 16 cycles total, I think it was. And we're on number 14, or maybe it's 14 cycles because we have under a minute left. This may be the last cycle. Yep, and there you can see the load is going down. This number is also going up and down. I said this, and this is the maximum load, and this is where it goes up and down. It goes from like 27 up to 55. Like it pulls it, then it releases it. Yep, now that is done for this session. Totally released everything. And this is the laser machine that they just go across my back for about 5 minutes or so with the laser to help reduce the inflammation and to help the healing process of it. I do about 5 minutes of that after each session as well. So that was my second session, and yes, I have my little corner of Indiana here, Hoosier, Indiana. This is actually an artist that my neighbor back in Indiana was this artist's cousin, and he sold the artwork for him at festivals and stuff. So I got several of these around. I got an Indiana one, I have a Notre Dame one, and I have a Bears one. They're like pubs of. So those are all the pubs of Bloomington, Indiana. So they're really cool. But anyhow, so yeah, second section done today. Felt amazing again. It just spreads you apart, opens up the spine, and when it like spreads apart, so when the spine opens up, and I'm not a doctor, so I don't know all the fancy lingo, but the cartilage and everything in between, it builds in the nutrients, and it builds your spine back better, stronger, and healthier. So within the next 22 more sessions to go, because I'm 2 sessions in, 22 more sessions to go, hopefully it'll do so. And actually one thing I did, because somebody had said something, a buddy of mine, he's like, you ought to check your height and then see it again after those 8 weeks. See if it actually literally spread you apart, extended me. So see if I grow any, maybe like a ½ inch or so. I don't expect it to be much if there is anything. So we'll see. We'll see how that is in after the 8 weeks. And I started the process, February, today is the 6th. The first one was on the 4th. On the 4th, February 4th, I started the process. And I'm looking forward to it. My next one is again tomorrow, so 3 times a week. And I'm not going to share every session that I have. I'll just sort of share it along the way, or if anything drastic changes, or if I notice anything drastically change there, then I'll do so. But 2 sessions in, can't wait for the next one. And then with these sessions, it straightens me out. So Jenna would probably say I need to be straightened out. She might not be the only one that I need to be straightened out. So I'm literally getting straightened out. So this will do the trick. If you need somebody getting straightened out. Well, this is currently like session number 4. And man, this just feels amazing. I can just sleep here all day. And I got a machine here. There's a strap. There's a strap holding me up. Oh, it feels so good. And here it is, stretching me out. Just started, 21 minutes left. And we bumped it up 5 more pounds. We're up to 65 pounds today. Feels amazing. This is session number 10, and I'm up to 80 pounds. It's really pulling, that's for sure. What we got on the screen today? Snail. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, actually, we've seen these monarch migrations in California. This is absolutely amazing. Oop, hello. Well, since this video is probably not going to be a super long video, because the treatments are probably going to be mostly the same throughout, so I decided to add a little bit something else to it. I've had this guy, the Ninja Professional 900 watts, for going on 10 years plus probably. Loved it. Use it. I use it every day for lunch, during the week anyhow, to make my smoothie. As you can see, this thing is used and it's lasted forever. The only thing with this thing was, that's still wet from earlier. I replaced these blades in the past because over time they just wear out. And actually a couple weeks ago, I was using one and it wore out again. I'm getting water all over the place. It wore out again. But luckily I had a spare, and I remember the spare one time I bought the aftermarket ones, not directly from Ninja. So I bought the aftermarket ones, and they leaked underneath here, along the edges. They weren't like sealed that great, and I remember that because I use this as a backup. It works until I get my new one, which happened today. So I'm doing unboxing. So because from Ninja, one of these, I think, or maybe a 2-pack, something like that, was 30 to 40 bucks just for a 2-pack of the blades. And I've had it forever. So I figured, well, instead of buying the blades, check good old Amazon. And I did some research to see what I could find. and I found this guy, the Koios Multifunctional Blender. And one of the main reasons I ended up going with this one, it was 1,000 watts instead of 900 watts. So it's going to have a little bit more power. You know, Tim the Toolman Taylor. It's going to have a little bit more power. And the other thing was, and I'll give it a test go tomorrow after I clean it. Let's see everything that's involved in this thing. Got that. I'll throw that over there. Just a regular lid, which actually for this one, didn't have a lid, like it had a spout. It would seal it, but not just a lid. Let's see what else is in this guy. You get out of here. Oh, this is like double. What the heck is going on here? Okay, so looks like here's the motor, and I will give this a run tomorrow. But from a little of the videos that I was watching with this one, it auto blends it. So for this one, it's still water in here, so I won't. Well, actually, I closed it, and you put it on top of here. You turn it, and then you hold it down. And you just hold it down until it's done blending, which I did for 10 plus years. But I think, and we'll find out tomorrow, on this one, it's the same concept, but you don't have to hold it down. I think you put it in there. We'll try it tomorrow. Put it in there, press it down, and you can walk away and it'll blend it for, we'll find out tomorrow, how long. And then it just stops. So I'm sort of excited about that I don't have to just stand there and hold it. And I checked, I believe these were 20 ounce as well. This was also, I think, 20 ounce. This is just fatter, and this is longer. But then there's also just a baby, just a mini one. And I liked it because there were several of these that had that option too. A mini one for like spices, coffee beans, and a few other things. And then for this, I think I spent 30 bucks or so on this guy. I'll add the link to which one I got. I'll add it in the description. Hopefully I don't forget. If I forget and you're looking for it, make a comment. Because again, this video will be going for another 8 weeks. But I'm sure when I edit this video, it'll remind me to drop in the comment, or drop the link in. And then a little recipe book. And this guy, oh yeah, like a little travel guy. That's cool. Little hang thingy there. So yeah, the main thing I got is because it was 1,000 watts, and I think it's gonna be quieter, and I could put this on there and walk away. So we'll give that a go tomorrow, and I'll show you one of my smoothies that I practically do every day. Oh, also got a nice little brush. Beautiful. Yeah. But no, so I'm excited about it. I'm excited. You know, it's half the size. Well, not half the size, but it's smaller than this other guy is. Not sure if you can see that. Smaller than this guy is. So maybe it won't take up, it's not going to take up as much room either. Cool. So a little unboxing of the Koios Multifunctional Blender. And we'll give this thing a go. Okay, so as I had mentioned, I'll show you what I put in my daily smoothie. It gets artichoke hearts, which the paper fell off of this can. Put the rest of it in here. There we go. And then a cucumber. And I cut out the seeds because they're not good for the gut health. So, and however, and I use usually 1 cucumber per week, so I divvy up enough per. And then my triple berry blend, a few berries in there, a little bit of coconut oil, and then some turmeric, and then some beet powder, a little bit of that, Super Greens, Max Plus powder, ginger, and I just some thin slices of that in there. That way with the blender. Oh, kale, and the trick is so it lasts longer. I always wash it, then I freeze it. And then for the juices, it varies. Very seldom do I use apple juice, but this was Bobby approved, so I got a little bit of apple juice. One of my favorites, though, is this Northland juice. Blackberry, blueberry, acai. It's also not Bobby approved, but there's only like 1 or 2 things in here that makes it. And what I really like about this new blender is, set on top of here, it's hands-free. My other one I always had to hold down. This one I don't. I can let it go for a little bit and come back. Make sure I get all the stuff from the top. So I love it that that is hands-free, and it does a great job. So I am halfway or almost halfway through the decompression, and yesterday we met with the doctor halfway through because there's a technician that's been helping me every day get set up for the machine. Fantastic technician. Everybody around there is fantastic. And so halfway through, the tech said, let's meet with the doctor. I can meet with the doctor and see how everything is going. So I did. I met with the doctor. Fantastic doctor, super nice. And he had asked me how it's going. I said, well, unfortunately, I haven't seen much of an improvement. My leg does still get numb if I stand around too long because of that Spondylolisthesis causes the pinched nerve. So he said, well, that's too bad. But the thing I thought about, this has been going on for probably 10 years or so. Because he did mention, well, there may be just a bunch of scar tissue built up there, and with a decompression, it's not releasing that because of too much built up scar tissue. So he had requested or suggested that I come back, and I'm going to do that today. I come back, and we're going to do some shock therapy, like a shockwave therapy. There's a little wand, it goes on my back, and it pulses, just shock pulses, right to the area that needs it to try to break up that scar tissue. And he said, there's going to be some inflammation, there's going to be some pain. I watched some videos on it, and it said, actually, if you don't feel any pain, they're not doing it hard enough, or they're not have it at a high enough level. So, and I'm all about the pain and breaking the scar tissue up to make it feel better. So I'm going to head that way, and we'll give it a try, and I'll let you know how it went. So this is the machine. The shock and everything. That's what I'm going to get drilled down with and see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it. All right, I'm back. So you saw the machine, and it was interesting. That thing is amazing because he had the tech said, I'll pretend this is the wand. So there was a little wand I showed you on the machine. So the tech said, he'll just go over the area, and it was on my lower back, so it wasn't up here, but it was on my lower back, and he had it going, and you could hear like the shocking, like tick, 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 but you couldn't feel it. And he said, you won't feel anything until it gets to scar tissue area. And sure enough, when it got around the scar tissue, it felt like it was tender. It wasn't like electrical shock or pulsating what I expected. So it wasn't any of that. It wasn't like you're holding on to a shocking fence, if you've ever done that. If not, good for you, because I have. And it wakes you up. But because you hear the pulsating of the wand and the machine, it's just like tick, 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 tick. But he's just going over the different areas. And then once he's at a certain area, just holds it there. Because then you say the pain's like a 5 or 6 or 4 or 3, whatever it is. And it was like a 5 or 6. He'll hold it there for a little bit. Then it slowly goes away. Because it breaks up the scar tissue. It was pretty incredible. Then he just kept going around the lower back. And there was like, nope, nothing. And be like, oh, yep, more pain. And then he just held it there for a while. And it was just like tenderness. Like you bruised a bone is sort of how I best could explain it. And then he just held it. And he's like, I was like, oh, that's a 5. So then he held it. Then it went away. And I was like, oh, it's like a 3 or a 2 now. So it literally broke up the scar tissue like right there instantly. So I'm going to go back, do that at least one more time. And after that, we will, I'll see if I do it more or not. But that was cool. It was my first time doing shock therapy. And you can do it anywhere in the body. Like I was watching videos, people were doing it on the arms or anywhere, legs, anywhere where you may have scar tissue to just relieve some pain. But right now, I don't feel anything. Because they said I may be sore, but it's one of those things maybe it'll kick in after several hours. But as of right now, I feel normal again, as far as soreness level. So, yeah, it was interesting. I enjoyed it. Well, a little update on the decompression, how it's coming along. Because I'm about, I think around 15 to 17 decompressions in, and it hasn't been making a difference, unfortunately. So what we did the last couple times was the doctor had suggested using another table. It's called an inflection table. And I'll demonstrate it here on my little buddy teddy bear of how the inflection table works. So here I got my volunteer, the teddy bear from Sweden. So the inflection table, what it is, it's a table like this and it bends. So, and they have a bend down, because previously I would lay on the table and they would attach and I would decompress. It would pull my waist. I'd be laying this way. But now we have the table like this, and this end goes down and then pulls on the waist more that way because of the way my spine is. So I lay face down and the support goes around my waist, and then when this bends, it allows more pull on my lower spine, which is where I need it at. And given that a try, did a couple days of that. And I'll show you a video of what the table actually looks like. Did a couple days of that, and there's a little bit more discomfort there. So we'll see what the doctor suggests and maybe go back to the other table that I was on before. Because I'm not too sure. It's discomfort because it's working. It's pulling it apart where it's no longer, or because of the offset, as you've seen in the x-rays, it's offset. So it needs to pull that down and then hopefully decompress that so it takes care of the numbness. So I'm not too sure if the discomfort is from it actually working or not. Because right after the third session, when we bumped up the decompression poundage, my leg really went numb, even more so, for a little while. Then it went back, but my back still hurts and that was yesterday. So it's been a day after. So the discomfort has gone down a little bit, but there's still some there, so I may just wait and then go back next week to do it again. So as of now, unfortunately, I haven't seen much success. And I'm not, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm not too sure if that's just because I've waited so long to do something about it. But hopefully, prayers that it changes soon.
So this is the inflection machine. So I am up to one of the last treatments, and as you can see, maxing out at 90 pounds. And still got 15 or 14 minutes left. All scenery for the day, like pulls and releases. Currently at 45 pounds. And this cord pulls at it. Pulls on my waist. See, the number goes up. More pressure is being pulled.
Well, it's been a few weeks after I've had my last decompression. I wanted to give it some time. Unfortunately, I have not seen much, if any, improvement. We reviewed the x-rays and everything again. There was not much of any change. My height, I did not get any taller. I can't dunk still. I wish I could. Unfortunately, I can't. And it's a bummer. The doctor was bummed out as well. They were generous enough. They allowed like 1 or 2 more decompressions just to hope that it does work, because they do get a lot of success with Spondy with a lot of other situations, if it's maybe like other disc scenarios. So if you do have any back issues and haven't looked into decompression, go take a look at it, look into it. And it was a bummer that it didn't, because it wasn't cheap. But I wanted to go that route before I do surgery. So I'm okay with it. It's one of those things, now I know. Otherwise, who knows? Could have done surgery first. Could have been horrible. And I wish I would have tried the decompression. So I'm glad I tried it. This is unfortunate. It wasn't successful. So I'll just have to continue to somewhat do my own stretches as well. And in the future, see what other options are available. But thank you for following along. I know it's a different video. I appreciate you following along. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll drop the links in again with the blender that I had used, and I have been using that as well. So far, so good with that blender. Well, until the next adventure, the adventure's out there. Let's go find it. And one little extra, if you do want one of these Mickeys, they are in our Etsy shop. So go take a look at the Etsy shop.